Sarah, and today I'm sharing some nice spooky stories with you, perfect for this time of year. Here we have The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. There was a hand in the darkness, and it held a knife. That's the opening line of this book. And the knife had a handle of polished black bone, and a blade sharper and finer than any razor. If it sliced you, you might not even know you had been cut. Not immediately. The knife had done almost everything it was brought to that house to do, and both the blade and the handle were wet. The hunt was almost over. The man Jack had left the woman in her bed, the man on the bedroom floor, the older child in her brightly colored bedroom, surrounded by toys and half-finished models. That only left the little one, a baby, barely a toddler, to take care of. One more, and his task would be done. But although the man Jack did not know it, it would be many years before he would have a chance to complete the job he'd been sent to do. Nobody Owens, known as Bod, is a normal boy. Or he would be normal, if it weren't for the fact that he lives in a graveyard. He's being raised by ghosts, and he has a guardian who belongs to neither the world of the living nor the dead. There are adventures to have in the graveyard for a boy. An ancient indigo man, a gateway to the abandoned city of ghouls, the strange and terrible Sleer. Some days, though, nobody, Bod, just wants more. But if Bod leaves the graveyard, he will be in danger from Jack, the mysterious man who killed his entire family all those years ago. The Graveyard Book is available both as a graphic novel and as a regular chapter book. The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. Are you looking for a book that you really shouldn't read before bed? Then I have something for you. Try Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. There isn't a lot of vivid graphic horror in there, but the stories are dark and they're eerie. I compare it sort of to a trip through the woods, where every shadow that you see and every rustle that you hear makes you think of a predator lying in wait. You're on edge, fascinated, and full of a primal, looming dread. The sun has gone down, and you're alone in the cold. So there are 5 stories in this book. In one, a father leaves his 3 daughters behind in their small house in the middle of the snowy woods and tells them, hey, if I don't make it back within 3 days, I want you to gather all the food in the house and go to the neighbors. He leaves. The girls stay. And they wait, and they wait. He never returns. And meanwhile, a terrifying figure who wears a wide-brimmed hat and never stops smiling is lurking outside. In another story, a pair of brothers, one a hero, one pretty much forgotten by everyone, go into the woods to kill the monster terrorizing the local village. Only to learn the monsters were never on the outside at all. We have 3 other stories, one in which 2 girls pretend to talk to the dead with unsettling consequences, one where the new bride of a nobleman hears the chilling cries of a woman throughout the castle late at night and goes to investigate, and one where a girl visits her brother's house in the countryside, only to learn that his wife has been keeping a terrible secret. Emily Carroll's illustrations in this are just absolutely gorgeous. They are richly illustrated, and she does a wonderful job going back and forth between using lots of color and using pretty much only black and white and red. I compare each of the stories to being sort of rich gems on a necklace, and the thread that's tying them all together is the theme of the woods. Ultimately, you'll find out that most of these stories do not have a solid conclusion. They don't have answers, only more questions. And in my opinion, that's one of the sort of baseboards of horror. The fact that you don't always know completely what's going on or what it means. Another thing that this book does very well is taking familiar childhood elements and twisting them just enough to make them unfamiliar and frightening and threatening. Let me show you this. This does not spoil any of the actual stories. You should, in fact, recognize the art in here as vaguely resembling Goodnight Moon by Margaret Wise Brown, a classic children's picture book. And in this, the monster that you can see just outside the window talks. "Oh, but you must travel through those woods again and again," said a shadow at the window, "and you must be lucky to avoid the wolf every time. But the wolf only needs enough luck to find you once." Through the Woods by Emily Carroll.